Also known as the banded garden spider, the banded argiope is named for that distinctive yellow, black, and white banded pattern found all around the body. Argiopes in general are known for their very deliberately patterned webs. While the ornate pennant is a very small species of dragonfly, it also does have some of the most cool-looking patterns, with a very distinctive yellow and black on the abdomen and thorax. One of the best identification features is that pattern on the base of the two hind wings, found in both males and females. Florida's smallest owl species, the eastern screech owl, has very good camouflage, and all three color morphs, the brown and red, and in this case gray, all blend in very well with the surrounding trees. This small cockroach right here is a relatively common ground-dwelling species called the Surinam cockroach. You'll normally see these guys either on the ground or underneath the ground after you flip pieces of wood, which is exactly where I found this individual, underneath a piece of wood. These guys are not native to Florida, but also are not attributed to many of Florida's cockroach pest problems either. The Roseate Skimmer is a pretty common species in Florida during its flight season, and while it is named for the bright pink-colored males, the females also have a very distinctive pattern on the thorax that is mainly dark brown with white lines and a couple black spots. The orange-colored tail is also an interesting characteristic. This was my first time successfully catching one of these. Buckeyes in general have some of the most interesting patterns of any of Florida's butterfly species. And though we get 3 species here, this one, the common Buckeye, is our most common species and is easily recognized by the white patch on each wing wrapping around the large eye spot instead of just being placed next to it. Throughout its range, the variegated fritillary is known as the slightly smaller and rarer cousin of the very common species, the Gulf fritillary, and especially in South Florida, the variegated fritillary is much rarer than the Gulf fritillary. Aside from size, the variegated fritillary is a slightly lighter shade of orange, with more complex black patternings above, and the bottom part of the wings being better suited for camouflage, looking kind of like a dead leaf, much more worn out looking below than the Gulf fritillary. This relatively small dragonfly right here, the blue corporal, is actually quite the rare sighting in Palm Beach County despite its common presence throughout much of North America. This individual is not blue because this is a female. Only the males of the species are blue, and even though the females are not blue, they still have very intricate patterning in a distinctive reddish color. While this feature is not in males, a great ID factor in females is the 2 bold white shoulder bars. Believe it or not, there is actually a bird in this frame right here, and its eyes are moving. This bird is actually called the Chuck Will's widow. It's a very close relative and very similar looking to the eastern whippoorwill, but on average, these guys are larger and browner, with a flatter, more elongated looking head than the similar eastern whippoorwill. Nightjars in general have perfect camouflage, or almost perfect camouflage, that helps them blend in with trees or the ground during the daytime when they sleep. They hunt at nighttime, the evening, or early morning, using their very large mouths to catch insects in midair. The Chuck Will's widow is actually directly named after its call, which sounds like it's saying its own name.